Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
And welcome back, everybody. This is something that many of us have challenges with from time to time, even more so, I think, as you get older. Digestion issues, feeling bloated, just kind of full, maybe gassy, whatever it might be. Acupuncture can actually help you with that. It blows my mind every time we get together with her. We learn the different things that acupuncture supports. We're going to dig into that today. And she's the woman behind Kelly 121 Acupuncture in New York City. And so much information, Chinese medicine, just amazing. Dr. Kelly is back with us. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Steve. How are you doing?
Very well, very well. Before we dig into digestion challenges, I have an email. By the way, you can reach us anytime, instantfeedbacksteve@gmail.com. We've got Michelle checking in from Dearborn, Michigan. She says, hello, I've had trouble conceiving and heard that acupuncture can be used for fertility. Are there things that I would need to do to prepare for that?
Very good question. I do have a lot of patients coming in for fertility. Either they want to get pregnant naturally or they want to get some help from IVF. Mm-hmm. But either way, you do need to prepare for your body to get the baby. So acupuncture is very helpful, I would say, because I have more and more medical doctors refer their patients to get acupuncture. And I also have patients who want to get naturally pregnant, and they also succeed after acupuncture. So either way, it is very helpful. The question is how acupuncture can help you. In a simple sentence, common language people can understand is, usually my patients say, I can get more blood flow into that area, right into the womb. So the baby gonna have enough nutrition, to support their growth. That's a very general common sentence. In Chinese medicine words, we can tonify you more qi and blood. Also, of course, everybody is different. Everybody have different patterns. Some people can have trouble to conceive because qi and blood deficient, or can be blood stasis or qi stagnation. Or if you even deep down to the root, it can be from spleen or kidney or both deficiency. But either way, acupuncture can help you. We can tonify you. We can get rid of the cold. We can give you more qi and blood. We can disperse the stasis, give you more flow, qi and blood. So in that way, the baby have enough nutrition and feel comfortable to grow. That's how acupuncture can help you.
Thank you for that. And what I'm seeing here, Dr. Kelly, is acupuncture can help create the perfect scenario, the perfect space, if you will, for a baby to be conceived. So I always wondered, what's going on? You're sticking these very fine needles in. What's happening? Well, there's a lot. That's what I'm getting from you. And Michelle was wondering, is there anything that she would have to do in preparation for acupuncture for fertility? So I'm thinking maybe she's, in terms of ovulation, things like that. Anything that stands out for you, for a woman that she might need to prepare for if she's going to do acupuncture for fertility?
So I would suggest first, try to avoid cold drink, cold food.
Wow.
That's one thing.
And we've talked about that before. If you go back, there are reasons why we should not. By the way, I want to share this with you. I have this conversation now with friends and people around me all the time. Like I was out to dinner recently, and I'm being very serious about this. I didn't want water with ice. Didn't want a cold beverage. And I was explaining to everybody, well, Dr. Kelly is a Chinese medicine expert and has shared that having cold beverages isn't the best thing for your system, et cetera, et cetera. So we've talked about that a lot. I never even thought of that when you apply to somebody trying to conceive.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you. And this actually not only for people who try to get pregnant. It's applied to everyone, actually. Everyone. I can explain to you in Western medicine way because, our body have a kind of like normal temperature, right? Like around 37 something. So the enzyme in our body, inside the stomach, inside the spleen, small intestine, the temperature cannot be lower than our body in general, right? That's kind of like common sense. So for the enzyme to digest the food, all the enzymes have their optimum temperature. So if the temperature lower than the optimum temperature, they cannot digest very well. Their function cannot be the peak. Of course, if too high, also not good. But usually it's not going to be too high unless you have like huge fever, right? That's another issue. But usually like it's below the optimal temperature because we drink cold water, we eat cold food, we lower down the optimum temperature. But if you drink something warm, eat something warm, your enzyme have their basically optimal temperature to digest the food. That's why it's the best way, it's most effective way to digest the food so your body can use it. So, but if you take in cold stuff, basically you lower down the enzyme temperature. You cannot really use the food. That's why people have problem, like stagnation, bloated, or even ended up have a lot of dampness in their body. So you eat all the food, right? Very hard your body have to work on to make your body can be used. But if you, because you eat something cold, you just make your body not so efficient, then think about it, your body have to work very hard to coordinate all the organ, like where have enough blood, where. So in that way, your womb maybe have not enough blood to support, the baby to grow. That's why I suggest patients to eat something warm, just in general way, no matter who, especially for people who want to have a baby. That's why, that's in the Western way. In Chinese medicine way, cold in general just congeal. Cold slow down things. Think about the ice versus water, right? Water can flow, but ice is solid. It cannot move. The same thing. Eat something cold, slow down everything, congeal everything. Even for the young people, like young girls, if they drink a lot of cold stuff, eat a lot of ice cream, they may end up have PCOS. In that way, their period gonna be messed up, irregular. They may have very painful menstruation. They may have trouble to have a baby. So that's why, in general, I suggest people to drink warm, especially to people who want to have a baby. That's one of the things I would suggest you. The second thing is, in the summer, it's very hot, but we have AC everywhere. In the office, at home, on the bus, subway, everywhere. So try to don't wear anything expose your belly button or lower back, because the cold AC can blow on you, right get into your body, like through wherever you expose your skin, basically. So I would suggest you wear something, protect your belly button, protect your lower back, even your neck.
Wow. I'm hearing my mother's advice in my mind right now. And when I was a kid, she would always say, don't sit on the ground. You'll get a cold in your stomach. Now, I don't know how you get a cold in your stomach. However, based on what you're saying, Dr. Kelly, it kind of makes sense where, if you're sitting on the ground, now you're, crucial organs are exposed to colder, let's say it's winter and you're sitting on the ground. Not a good thing. Wow. So you know what? At this juncture, now that we're talking about even digestion and such, why don't we go over to talking about acupuncture supporting for digestion issues? Where do you want to start with that?
Yes, actually, I do have patient coming in for digesting problem. I have this young girl come in. She's pretty young, but she said she has bloating gassing basically for over like 10 years. It's pretty horrible, but at the beginning, she didn't really think about it. Her mom didn't think about it. But recently, she's getting worse and worse. So they went to see the medical doctor, right? They did all the blood work, MRI, X-ray to check whether there's something wrong in her, stomach, spleen, small intestine, large intestine.
That's weird. Strange noise. Please continue.
Yeah, but they didn't find anything wrong. But she I'm bloated and I'm gassing all the time. It's really horrible. Then her mom said, why won't we go to see acupuncturists? So then they found me. The girl came in. I checked her tongue, checked her pulse. So like I said, the reason, there are different patterns. They can be like spleen deficiency. You can have bloating gassing. You can have a stomach heat. You can have food stagnation. You also have bloating gassing. Or you can have, damp heat or damp cold. Or even have a spleen yang deficiency or kidney yang deficiency. So there are different kind of patterns. But either way, acupuncture is helpful because we can have some points to help your digestion. We can have some points to tonify your spleen. We can have some points to disperse the damp cold or damp heat. Or we can tonify your kidney yang or your spleen yang. That's why acupuncture can help. And the girl did feel very good after the first session. So now she's coming back 3 times a week.
So, Dr. Kelly, is the spleen a very critical organ when it comes to digestion issues?
It is. Actually, I think most of us, usually we were kind of like in the Western medicine world, right? We don't really link spleen with a lot of things. But actually in Chinese medicine, spleen is very important. So in Chinese medicine, we kind of like have upper jaw, like upper, like lung heat. Middle jaw, like stomach, spleen. Lower jaw is like kidney, UB, right? So stomach and spleen kind of in the middle, which means very important. It can go up or go down. It's like linked the up and down. The upper jaw and the lower jaw is very, very important. It's in the middle, in the center. If the spleen, stomach got messed up, your upper jaw and the lower jaw usually also had a problem because it's in the middle.
Wow. So would you say that and there's many different digestion issues, bloating, gassiness, maybe an ulcer, colitis. There's so many different things. Would you say when you treat somebody with acupuncture, you're pretty much doing it the same way when it's somebody that describes a digestion or gastro type issue?
Not really, because, for example, if the bloating gassing is due to food stagnation, then we need to disperse the food stagnation first, because the food kind of like stuck in the stomach, right? Cannot go anywhere. In that way, these kind of people usually kind of like have very distinct pain in their stomach. They may have very full, like, breath. And, this kind of patient is kind of like emergency because their stomach is so distending, it's very painful. In that way, the first thing is disperse the food stagnation, not to tonify the spleen. So it's different. But if people come on in bloating gassing due to spleen deficiency, not due to food stagnation, then we need to tonify the spleen. So if people come on in because actually kidney deficiency, their cold hand, cold feet, always feel cold, their complexion is kind of like pale. In that way, we need to tonify the kidney. So every pattern is different, but like different pattern can all have bloating gassing.
So you talk about food stagnation. What would you do to support that, or can you?
Of course, yes.
I don't think there's anything that this acupuncture can't help with. This is what I'm learning.
Like for example, like Thanksgiving or Christmas, people usually like overeat, right? Actually, during the big holiday, a lot of people have food stagnation because they overeat. Then the first thing is disperse the food stagnation, right? We have to get rid of the food stagnation first. There are points for the food stagnation. It's right in the front on the anterior midline. We can use it. So, and there are all called other points also for the stomach channel we can use. So, and also on the leg, lower leg, we have points to help about food stagnation. It's very helpful, actually.
Wow. What about, now we're talking about digestion. What about food sensitivities? Let's say somebody has an issue with gluten. Obviously,
okay, very good question.
You have to adjust what you eat, but there are times that come up where you have some discomfort. What can acupuncture do for that?
Yes, this kind of like related with allergy, right? Some people kind of like, oh, I cannot eat peanuts. I cannot eat strawberry. Or I cannot drink milk. Milk is actually a little bit complicated when we talk about the milk. Because in Chinese medicine, milk is kind of like cold. Because the milk is from the blood, right? If we think about where the milk from. So that's one of the things in Chinese medicine. We think because the milk is from the blood is yin. So yin basically means kind of like on the colder side, right? In Chinese medicine, when we talk about yin or yang, cold or hot, it's always a comparison with what is cold or hot. So milk in general, it is kind of like cold compared with meat or compare with vegetable because it's from the blood is yin. So in that way, if you drink a lot of milk, which means you kind of like give yourself a lot of cold stuff, even you warm it up, right? A lot of people even just drink from the fridge. They take out from the fridge and drink the cold milk. That's even like cold nature and cold temperature. So that's why I said milk is a little bit complicated because it's related with yin or yang, right? And also in Western medicine, when you think about why a lot of people, actually adults, cannot really digest milk is actually, I remember in biology class, because I used to teach biology, we did mention about adults, we kind of like losing the enzyme to digest milk. It just somehow, I think, a human being's nature, or some people, they don't have to have like allergy from the milk or something, but in general, still milk is cold. And adults, we don't have enough enzyme to digest milk like a baby. The baby, newborn, they drink milk. That's all the food they eat. They have no problem unless, the baby was born with something. They cannot digest milk. But in general, babies drink milk all the time, they're totally fine. But if you just let adults drink milk all the time, they're gonna have horrible problem because we don't have enough enzyme like babies.
And, the baby hasn't gone through different digestion issues. And to your point, when the baby drinks milk, it's not cold.
Oh,
right?
Steve, you always bring a very good point. Actually, when you think about the baby, also in Chinese medicine, we say the baby, they are full of yang qi, right? They grow every day, they grow every second. But adults, we don't. We don't grow anymore. We don't grow taller. We even shrink after a certain age. So in general, adults, our yang qi kind of like decline a little bit year by year. So in that way, we don't have enough yang qi to consume that yin food like milk. But baby is different. Baby full of yang qi. They have so much yang qi, they can digest that kind of yin milk. So that's another story.
Wow. Didn't even think of that, but makes perfect sense. And yes, as we get older, things change. Would you say, we talk about qi, and previous podcasts, we go into that even more. Would you say that just basically we should do acupuncture in general just to elevate the level of qi within our bodies?
I think that is absolutely a yes, because I do have patients first come on in for pain. Then their pain is gone after several sessions, but they still come on in for just general maintenance. I ask them, why you still want to come in? You have no pain. They say, I just feel better. I feel more balanced. My sleep getting better after acupuncture. I feel more energy. I feel more balanced. I feel more grounded. So in that way, so you do feel better, more balanced after you get acupuncture. And also think about this. Doesn't matter you're working or you're retired or you have a very happy relationship or whatever. We still, day by day, we may eat something not proper for our body. We may bump into somebody who yell at us, or we may, just injure us or get too much stress when we go to gym. So in that way, we do need adjustment every day, actually. Of course, every day is a little bit too much for people because you have to, have the time. But every day we do have some imbalance, need to adjust back to balance. That's why acupuncture in general is good for you, because we are off balance somehow, mood, food, or whatever. But acupuncture can pull you back to balance.
Is there another way to increase the level of qi within our bodies? If you didn't do acupuncture, is there something else you could do?
Increase the qi. What you can do? Actually, I do suggest patients to move around every day a little bit. Right? You don't have to go to jogging. You don't have to go to gym. But we do need to move, because when we sleep, our qi and blood kind of a little bit stagnant, right? Because we're lying down, we don't move. But after we getting up in the daytime, you move around, you kind of like activate the qi and blood. So in that way, you activate it, make it not so stagnant. Also, it kind of like give you a little bit more, because you're moving, you breathe in, breathe out. You kind of like gain a little bit more instead of you just sitting down for a whole day.
Sure. And that's even part of the reason I think why people say after they work out, whether they really wanted to or not, they feel so much better, a release of certain chemicals. But I never thought that it could also increase the flow of qi within us. Love this stuff. The stuff we learn here, just amazing. I never realized Chinese medicine was so in-depth. And you're the go-to for all of this. Amazing. How do we find you? I know that you can support those virtually when it comes to aspects of Chinese medicine, obviously not acupuncture, where you're located in New York City. What's your website?
Kelly121acupuncture.com.
Got it. Thank you very much for being here again, Dr. Kelly, and for all the insight. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Steve.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Hi, this is Terry Crews, actor, former football player, game show host, father of 5, and all-around big dude. I'm also an expert on drama. I know all kinds of drama. There's the good kind that comes with having a house full of kids. There's the bad kind, like season-ending injuries. There's the necessary kind, like having an agent in Hollywood. And there's silly drama, like the drama around my percolating pectorals. And then there's the drama you can skip.
Skip the drama that comes with not having your high school diploma or equivalency. Find free adult education classes near you and finish your high school diploma. Visit finishyourdiploma.org.
Or text diploma to 97779. Message and data rates may apply. Reply STOP to opt out. That's diploma to 97779. And leave the drama to actors like me.
Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.